Every single pharmacy, no matter what size, you have product on the shelf that just simply doesn't sell, and that's a waste of space. I can't really talk about clearance sales without talking about some key concepts and terms. So the first one is sunk cost. Sunk cost is money that you've already spent. So every time you buy inventory, the value of that inventory is a sunk cost. Sunk cost should not weigh in any decisions moving forward on that inventory that you've already purchased. Every purchase of inventory is an investment, and you want to make money on that investment. You want it to turn as quickly as possible, get your money out of it as quickly as possible so you can reinvest. So don't fall in love with your inventory. You have it, and don't hold on to it. If it's not selling, you need to get rid of it. So inventory turns, this is the number of times you sell through inventory in a given period, which is typically looked at as a year. So if you have an item and you sell through it 4 times, your inventory turn equals 4. The average independent pharmacy has a turn rate of about 11 in the back end, in the prescription department. And that's an amazing turn rate. That's really awesome. In general retail, in the front end of the business, though, it generally drops down to between 2 and 4. And that's not very good, honestly. You can do better than that. And it just takes a little bit of focus and a little bit of effort, and you can really improve that. And we're going to talk about some of the ways to do that. So carrying costs. These are all the business expenses related to holding and storing unsold goods. They include things like interest, if you're borrowing on a line of credit, shrinkage, if it's stolen or broken, handling, if you're resetting and storing merchandise that isn't selling. And then you have opportunity costs. Now, this is the space that can no longer be used for any other purpose or any other product. So the product that actually turns and generates profit and revenue for you, if that space being taken up by something that doesn't sell, that's an opportunity cost. So let's talk about seasonal clearance sales to start with. Follow the big box lead. Create your promotion with the seasonal merchandise, sell it at that price until things aren't moving, and then do your first price reduction. Say you have a 20% off for 1 week before the end of the season, and then 30% off the next week, and finally 50% off 1 week after. Get as much cash as possible out of that investment before it becomes worthless. And then you want to get that cash out so you can spend it on something else as well. And then if it's not selling, donate it. You can get a tax write-off for the donation. And then just think of it this way. Ask yourself this. If it didn't sell this year, why do you think it's going to sell next year? So don't waste the labor on boxing, storing, and unboxing something a year from now. Now, let's talk about clearance sales for non-seasonal merchandise. Run reports and find the merchandise that isn't selling. If you can return it, some of your wholesalers will take that merchandise back, send it back, get your refund. But if you can't do that, then sell it on clearance and replace it with something that turns. Don't tie up cash that doesn't generate any revenue and any profit. So if you can't find something that sells, then keep the cash, lease the space, but don't have a bunch of dead merchandise. So I have 2 quick examples of some recent analysis that I did. I was working with a store. They did just under 2,000 SKUs, and they had a profit of on the front end on those SKUs of $125,000 roughly last year. So that means they were averaging about $62.50 in profit per SKU. Now, they had over 200 SKUs that didn't sell once during that year. So that's an opportunity cost of $12,500 just missing that they could have had as additional profit. So replacing those items with something that turned just 4 times, just like what their average was, will add another $12,500 to the bottom line. And that's all they have to do. Your wholesaler carries over 30,000 SKUs, and that's just your primary drug wholesaler. There's lots of other options, obviously, millions of products out there. So find something that works in your market. And then I have another store we've been talking in the first 2 climb sessions, we talked about drug-induced nutrient depletion. And this store is doing over $6,000 per month in nutritional supplements at a margin of 50%. So $3,000 a month in profit on just roughly 20 SKUs. Find more SKUs like that.